Hey Crazy Crafters, welcome to our coloring and shading class, 5 Shades of Gray.
Yes, that's right, 5 Shades of Gray. That sounds like something else, right? Like 50 Shades?
But it's 5 Shades of Gray because we're using 5 shades to color a really cute outline sticker today.
Yes, and it's going to be fabulous. So if you're joining us today, you're going to want to grab some gray markers. Now, we are using 5 different shades of gray, so that's why the class is called that. And we did list those, but it is WG01, 02, 04, 06, and 08. Now, Jackie, what does WG stand for?
WG means warm gray, and typically you would use a warm gray when you're coloring any living thing, like an animal or fur or anything of that nature.
Yes, that's a good rule. Of course, you can always do what you want, but that's a very good rule. And before we get any further, let's just introduce you in case we have any newbies out there. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Kara.
I'm Jackie.
And we are a mother-daughter team here at Krazy Kreations.
Also known as the Crazy Ladies. We're crazy.
We are crazy. We can be. And we had the giggles this morning during our other class, right?
We did.
So now we love this class because we love to color. We find it very therapeutic and very fulfilling, especially when you finish the project and it looks so good. So this class was designed to help all of you artists out there to kind of hone in on your technique of getting a really good shading and blending, not only on our handmade glitter paper, but on blending cardstock, which can be challenging.
So this class is all about practicing. Practice, practice, practice makes perfect. And it's relaxing. So we're just here to have a good time, experiment, try new things, and relax.
Yeah, so let's get started. So we did give a kit if you're participating in the class, and the kit is going to have all the things we need, but those markers. So we'll talk about the markers in a minute. Now, if you're just tuning in to kind of check it out and see if you like it, then you're going to learn lots of fun techniques, and maybe you'll have some supplies close by that you could give it a whirl.
All right, so let's check out the finished projects you could make with the images that we're coloring today. Okay, so we have 2 beautiful cards here on the screen. One's an elephant and one's a little raccoon.
Yes, so what we started doing with this particular class, the coloring technique classes, is once we go over how to shade and we kind of practice together, we're going to give you a project to make a finished element.
Isn't that just adorable? So you can see that beautiful shading in there. It really brings the elephant to life. It gives it more dimension. And then here it is on this cute little raccoon holding a greeting card.
Yes, now the raccoon is going to be our challenge project, so we're going to go through and color that together, but it's up to you to use your own papers, your own imagination to create a card, and we'll talk more about the challenge later. But that is something that is not included in your kit, are all these papers, but you did get the raccoon sticker, and of course we'll be practicing.
And we are, just a quick note before we get started, we are live on Facebook in our virtual classes group as well as on YouTube. And we're reading your live comments from the Facebook group. If you need to step away, you can always replay this video at your own time.
Okay, well that sounds good. So, shall we get started by opening the kit?
Okay, let's see what was in that kit.
All right. So here is my kit, and I'm just so excited because already I could tell that there are instructions. So that's always a good way to start, right?
Yeah, so all of our kits come with photographs and instructions.
Yeah, so I'm going to take everything out. You hear me noisily doing that, but that's the best way. When I open a gift, I'm one of those people that just goes for it. I don't try to save the paper. What kind are you, Jackie?
Yeah, I do the same thing.
And by the way, Jackie's going to be opening lots of gifts soon because it's a special day next week.
Woohoo!
All right, so here's our fun instructions with a photograph. And as you can tell, this is the card that was included in your kit to make once you've mastered your elephant. And then this is the challenge one where you use your own supplies to create this card, but we're going to learn how to color the raccoon together, okay? And again, if you want to make this card, here's all the written instructions. Sound good?
All right, sounds like a plan.
Now we've also included a cover sheet here, which is great for keeping a little binder of these techniques as we go through our journey together of learning how to color. And we'll kind of go over more about how to use this sheet, but it definitely tells us what colors we're using and if we have notes that we want to take. And we'll be putting our finished projects that we're practicing right down here.
This will be kind of our guide when we want to go color something gray. At a later time, we can see what we liked.
Yes, that's a good point. Now this right here is blending cardstock. It is complementary to our alcohol ink markers. This brand is called Express It, and we really like it. It's a really nice 90-pound cardstock, and it feels almost like glossy paper, but it's not. It's cardstock, and it is really friendly. Now when I say friendly, what does that mean, Jackie?
It means that it works well with your alcohol markers, which is not true about all cardstocks.
Right, so it's not going to bleed when the markers are on it. It's not going to oversaturate through the paper, and it's going to hold that color really, really well. Now, not all papers, like Jackie said, are very good for coloring, so we definitely want to have a good, friendly paper. Okay, and then in addition to that paper, we have this paper. What's this?
This is the Krazy Kreations handmade microfine glitter paper.
Yes, and we're going to talk more about this when we get ready to use it, but this is something made here at Krazy Kreations. Okay, now you have your project here. This is how, some of the supplies you need to make the elephant card. So we're not going to go through this today, but I do want to mention, look how cute that paper is.
It's adorable.
It is so appropriate, isn't it? Now this right here is an extra sticker for all of you, and it's also for the card. As you can see, it goes around the rim and creates a really nice border. Now what kind of stickers are these here?
So these are holographic, and this is the pearl border sticker. So when you peel it, it's like a strand of pearls. And holographic means that it has shifting rainbows in it, which is really pretty.
Yes, it really is. You could kind of see that. I don't know if you could see that on camera, but it's so pretty.
I mean, I see a little bit of pinks in there, greens, blues. Really pretty.
Really, really nice. All right, and then here are our main images. They're on outline stickers. So we have our elephant, and there are 5 here on this sticker sheet. And then we have our raccoon, which has 3. So we're going to take these out of the package, but do you want to explain what these black stickers are all about?
So if you've never used one of our Krazy Kreations outline stickers, they're made out of vinyl, and they're a stamping alternative. So all you have to do is peel a sticker, put it on your paper, and you're ready to color it in.
Yes, and I just love it because it's almost like having an embossed image because the lines are there for you, and I really, really like that. Plus, it's always vibrant. I don't know about you, but when I stamp, I'm not always getting that vibrant line. Although the Misty has really helped with that.
But I like how these look a little bit 3D and they're shiny. So it just is a nice image for you to use in your cards or layouts or whatever you do. These are also dishwasher safe, so you can use them on glassware.
Ooh, that's so exciting. Okay, so we are going to be practicing with our elephant first. And we are going to need our blending cardstock and our glitter paper. So we're going to need these 3 things to practice. But before we get started, let's go ahead and look at our cover sheet, okay? Now, just so you know, this is not on a alcohol ink friendly cardstock. So when you're using it in just a little bit like we're going to do, it's okay to not have that blending cardstock. But if you're going to color something, you definitely want to have the correct paper, all right? So this is a 65-pound weight cardstock. But again, we're just using it mostly just to take notes and to put our images on. Now, if you notice, I am missing one of my images. It fell off, so I have to go locate it later. But we will be having 4 images, not 3, right?
Okay.
Okay? Now, it does say here the colors that we're using. And what I find very, very helpful is to go ahead and we're going to take our Right Art marker, which is an alcohol ink marker, and we have a brush tip and we have a fine tip. And we're going to primarily use this brush tip here. You see that? Okay? And we're going to go in and we're just going to give, whoops, I like to use the side of the brush, a swatch so we could kind of see the color. So we're going to do that for each one. Now, what I would like to point out is I have a duplicate number here. Do you see that?
WG04.
Yes. So as we're doing this, what we're going to note is that we have a light to a medium to a dark, and that WG04 can actually marry 2 different looks. Isn't that interesting? So we have light, medium, dark, and this is a warmer kind of gray. It has more brown in it, I would say. What do you think?
It does, and what I'd like to also say is you may be using all 5 grays with us today, or maybe you're just using 3 grays. Either way, we're still going to practice with those color combinations. So don't worry if you don't have all 5 grays.
Yes, if you only have the 3, then just, whoops, I'm here making noise, then just go ahead and use the 3 that you have, okay? But we like to show you all the differences that there are. Sorry, I'm just going a little slow here. I don't know what's wrong with me. We just ate lunch. Okay, so now that we have all these colors, what I really wanted to point out is when you look at WG1 and 2, you definitely see a difference here. One is more brown, one has more gray in it. But as you go from this brown to the middle color, these both jump, the WG04 from both of these. And then when you get to here, this one is definitely darker, and this one has more of that lighter gray. Do you see that?
I do.
So the numbers rarely tell you the story. I guess that's the whole moral of this. Don't go by the numbers or colors on the caps. You always want to go through and kind of put a little bit of color down.
You definitely want to do swatches, and just to remind you, in case you didn't know, we do have a blank color chart for the Right Art markers on our website under Ideas and Resources. You can download that, and then you can swatch your colors as you buy them so you know what they look like.
And I would like to also say that we do offer these markers in trio sets. They are recommended colors that tend to go together, but we have a skin and hair set in which we will be approaching our skin and hair coloring classes.
Exciting.
Very exciting. Okay, so are you ready to get started, Jackie?
Yes, let's do it. So, and by the way, if you have any questions during the class, you're welcome to write in the comments below because we're reading your comments live. So I'm going to do a little shout out to Angel and Bobby Joe.
All right. Hi, guys. Okay, so what I really would like to point out when we're using the 2 different types of shades here in the warm gray category or family is that the main part of this elephant here is done with the brown kind of run, and the ears here are done with the cooler warm gray look, okay? So we're actually using both. Isn't that cool?
Very cool. I like how it looks like a little brownish.
Yes, I like the brown and then to the more gray, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's get started with our glitter paper. Do you want to explain that?
So if you've ever taken a class with us crazy ladies, you know the very first step to using this glitter paper is rubbing it or burnishing it. So that's the very first thing we need to do together. So we're going to take our hands and rub over the top. This does a few different things. This is making it smoother, shinier. It's getting a little bit of the extra glitter off. The nice thing is once you rub it that first time, you can go back and you don't get any glitter transferring onto your hands. So it's really important to do that first step. Burnish the glitter paper.
Okay, so now once we've burnished and we're all ready for that, we are starting with the glitter paper because it tends to be more friendly and will give us a little bit more confidence when we get to the blending cardstock. So we need to put an image on here so that we could color.
Okay, so we're actually going to peel two, right?
Yes, let's do that. Shall we have the glitter ones facing the same direction?
Okay, so we'll do the left facing elephant for the glitter paper. So we're going to peel just by putting your finger under the outline. I'm going to grab the little ear and just pull him off the sheet. And now I kind of like to dangle him from my finger and sweep it across the page until I find the perfect spot, and I kind of just let it relax and go onto the page. So now we're going to do that one more time with this guy down here. So peel, and they're really friendly to peel. And then I will place him right next to the other one. Once you like where your elephants are, we're going to take our finger and rub over the top of the outline sticker. We can even flip this paper over and give it a nice rub because that will add some pressure, and then we'll know they're sealed down really well. Okay.
Now it looks like we left behind an eye.
Yeah, so there is a tiny little eye, but I would recommend putting it on after.
Okay, we could do that. So we just wanted to note that we will come back and put the eye on once we've colored, okay? All right, now there are two different ways of coloring, and I mean, it's a matter of personal choice which technique you like better. There is the coloring light to dark or the coloring dark to light. So all this is referring to is which pen you're going to start your coloring with. So light to dark would suggest that we're going to start with our lighter colors, shade with our darks, and then go back and blend, okay? So that's how we're going to start. What do you say to that?
Okay, so let's start with the light to dark.
So we're going to color the body first. So we're going to use that first group, which is WG, 01, 04, and 06. I'm telling you, Jackie, I'm getting old. It's hard to read.
1, 4, and 6.
Right. Okay, 1, 4, and 6. Right there. And remember, we're going to do the body. So since I'm on this side, I'm going to start here. So this is going to be light to dark. Now when you color with an alcohol ink marker, you're going to do one area at a time. So I'm going to start with the bigger part of the body here. Then I'm going to go to the head, and then I will switch my colors for the ear. Okay? Now, why do we do that? Because we want the best blending, and that occurs when the ink is still wet. So you don't want to color the entire elephant and then try your shading and blending. All right?
Okay.
Okay, so WG01, here we go. So I am doing the light to dark, so I'm just going to come in and I'm going to give it some light. Now all I'm really doing is wetting the glitter paper here, right?
Yes, and so whenever you lay your ink down, it's going to blend a lot easier.
Now this looks very brown for a gray. What do you think?
Very brown.
All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come in with a WG04, and that's going to be our middle color. So we are going to now choose where we want the shading. So I want all the shading to kind of be on the outside. So the inside's going to be very light. So that means I'm going to come in, and I'm kind of doing this thing called flick, like this. Do you see how I have more ink there, and then it kind of rises as I go? So I'm going in about, a pretty good flick, you know, like a pretty good flick like this. And it's adding that color. And you could turn your image around, right?
Yeah, I actually like to turn my image around because I do the best feathering, doing it from down or bottom to top.
Okay, so now you can kind of see the little bit of darker gray with the lighter. And now we're going to come in with our really dark, which is WG06. And we're going to go about half of that medium color. So my flick is like half, like this, okay? And you don't want too dark, right?
Right, you don't want to add too much dark. If you don't add enough dark, you can always add that again later. But if you put too much dark, you kind of have to start over.
And where these like little lines are here, that could be a really dark shadow. So I might put a little bit more there. All right, now that I have that in, we're going to go ahead and want to blend where this dark line and the medium color is. So we're going to go back to our medium color, which is 04, and we're going to pull that where the line ends. So I'm not going all the way over here. I'm starting where that line ends, right?
Yeah, so you just want to pull in the edge of that color.
All right. And then we will go back to our first color, WG01, and pull that medium color into the lightest area. And look at that wonderful shading. What do you think?
That looks awesome. And we can tilt it up a little bit so you can see. The thing about vinyl stickers is they're nice and black, but when the light hits it, there's a little bit of a glare. So if we hold it up like this, you see it's nice and black again. Cute.
Very cute. So now it's time to do the face. Now if at any time you get a darker color on your light, on a piece of typing paper, you don't want to waste your nice glitter paper. You're just going to kind of tap it off and it'll go back to the regular color. So remember, we're doing light to dark. So we're going to start with our WG01 and we're going to get the area wet. And then we're going to go back to our medium color, which is WG04. And we're going to kind of do a generous flick, right? Now see these lines here, that's going to be kind of dark.
That's like wrinkles.
They are the wrinkles of the nose, huh? Trunk. And then we want our really, really dark. So we're going to come in, but these are little swipes. And kind of some by the hair. Come down.
I think it's cute that it has a little bit of hair on top of his head.
Go back to your WG04 to kind of blend that dark line. Now when we do our normal glitter paper, we're not using 3 colors.
Well, you can, but most of the time we use 2 colors just to keep it simple. But you can color with as many colors as you want on the glitter paper.
Yes, and so because we're kind of learning to color, we want more, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's the head. What do you think?
All right, he's looking good. Awesome.
All right, now we're going to make the ears have that different hue of the gray. So we're going to go with the WG02. We're going to reuse our 4 as the medium, and we're going to use our 8 as the darkest, okay?
So 2, 4, and 8.
Yes, now how did I skip from 4 to 8? Just by putting it on the paper and seeing what I liked best. So this one here is the 2. WG02, and I think I'll do both ears. They're not very large. But you can tell the difference in this color tone already, can't you?
Less brown.
Yes. Now I'm going to 4, and I'm doing that little shading. And you don't want a lot when there's a really small area. Don't put a lot. And then we're going to 8 just very little here. Go on that line.
And 8 is pretty dark.
It is. So you want to be really careful. Then we're going back to 4. Again, this is really a lot of practice, which is what Jackie said in the beginning. And then we will finish it with 2. There we go. So cute. What do you think?
Awesome. So let's take one more look at this little elephant here on the right. You can see that beautiful shading in there. It looks awesome.
Now, one thing I do like to do, because we are going to cut these out, so they're usually around a 2x2 or so square, and once you cut them out and then you can put them on your sheet, is I like to kind of write on the back here that this was light to dark, so I remember where I want to put it. Okay?
All right, so let's try the dark to light method using the same colors. Now, again, if you're only using 3 colors, you get to practice the same technique on the body and the ears. So the first color combo is WG01, 04, and 06. So instead of starting with the WG01, I almost said YG. YG is yellow-green.
Yes, that's right.
WG is warm gray. So we're going to start with the warm gray 06, okay? That is this one right here. This is the darkest color in the set. So let's go ahead, turn our image, and we're going to add the darkest parts on the elephant. So I'm doing it all around the same areas as before. So we kind of already know where those shadows are. And we don't need a ton of the dark color, but we want a little bit by this ear and in here. Next, we're gonna go to the WG04. This is our midtone. We're gonna put the pen right where that WG06 ended. And we're just gonna do that feathering motion. We're gonna do that feathering motion a little bit larger this time than we did with the 06. So now you can see where the highlight is left, right in there. We're going to use our WG01 and just fill that in, pulling the 04. And look how cute that is.
So cute.
So you can kind of tell that, well, maybe not so much. I was going to say one looked lighter than the other, but they kind of look the same.
Yeah, I think we should keep going and see if that holds out, and then we'll talk about the different methods.
All right, so we're going to go start again with the 06. This time we're going to color the head. So that shadow is going to be by that ear, on the head, and then on the trunk, by those wrinkles. Then we're going to use the 04 to blend out some of that dark color. So I'm just going to the edge of where that dark color ended and pulling it towards the center. And it creates a flicking stroke. And we'll do the same thing when we get to the WG01. Go to where that 04 ended. Pull it towards the center with a little bit of a flicking stroke. Okay.
Very cute.
So we have a head. Now we're going to change colors to do the ears. So we need WG02, 04, and 08. So in this combination, 8 is the darkest. So we're going to put this color in the ear. And just a tiny bit on that upper ear. We'll use our 04 as the midtone. And pull that 08. And I love how you get these little feathery strokes. Those actually will help you blend. And then the WG02 is we're going to pull until we get to the edge of the sticker. Okay, there's our elephant. How cute.
So cute. So a couple observations. The difference between the two methods here. This one definitely has lighter looking tones over this one because remember we first layered the image with the light color, which in essence makes it a darker tone by the time you put all the colors on. So leaving it white and just blending it was really nice. Plus you're going to use less ink on the dark to light method. Now I do want to point out that Jackie tended to put her shadows a little different on the ear than I did, but that's okay because as the artist you can interpret it any way you want to. It is the shadows and the shading though that makes your piece look more professional.
Okay, so let's take a quick little vote in the comments. Let us know which you prefer on the glitter paper. Light to dark or dark to light?
Now, is this a good time to put the eyes back on?
Yeah.
I'm going to say over here, dark to light. So when I cut it out, we will remember.
So we're going to go ahead and grab some tweezers. And the little eyeball on this sticker sheet is a dot. So it's really small. You'll want tweezers, and we don't want to fling it. Where does it go? Right there?
Yeah, that looks good. It kind of makes a big difference, don't you think?
Yeah, now he has a personality.
We should name our elephant Horton. Do you remember that book?
No, I just remember Dumbo.
Oh, Dumbo, yes. That does kind of look like Dumbo. Cute. All right, so again, this is the glitter paper. I suspect that most of you will find that this is the easier medium to color on, but now that you've kind of got some confidence, let's go ahead and see our coloring on the blending cardstock.
Okay, so our paper is going to take up our whole screen, just so you know. And there we go. We're going to need to peel 2 more elephants. So this time, they're going to face the right. So we're going to go back to our sticker sheet and peel those off of the sticker sheet. And I see 2 votes, and they're both for dark to light.
Yes, I tend to agree with you on the glitter paper for sure.
Now, you'll notice what I just did here. We want to conserve our paper. The stickers stick very well to this paper, so once it goes down, it stays down, okay? I'm going to move this up a little bit. So I want to be in frame, so I'm going to have to be in the middle here.
Okay, so we don't suggest you put yours in the middle because you'll want to conserve your paper. This is very expensive paper. So we're going to kind of go in the middle just for the camera, right?
Yeah. All right, there's one. And number 2 is on the way. I think my sticker stuck to itself. There.
You're doing a great job. Leave some room to cut it out.
Is that enough?
Yeah. Don't forget, we're going to cut these out. Okay, so Jackie, I happen to know on this one that you like light to dark.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd let you color the light to dark.
Okay.
Would you like to do that first or second?
First.
All right, so we are going light to dark with this elephant right here.
All right, so we're using our same colors on the same areas as last time, right?
Yes.
Okay, so right now I have WG01, 04, and 06. Now we're going to start out with our WG01. This is the lightest color in the set. And we're going to take this and we're going to color in circles all over this body to saturate the paper.
Now, what's this circle thing?
Oh, the circle method I like to do because it just creates an even pressure, and then you don't see lines.
But you could do it the other way, right?
Yeah, you can color it any way you want.
This is just the way that we learned. So if you wanted to try the circle method, can you show on the side how that works?
So the circle method is just going in circles and you're moving your circle to cover your area.
And not lifting your brush.
I'm not lifting my brush. I'll do it one more time. So circle, and you're moving across. Just like that.
And this looks like a very even kind of coloring now.
Yes, that's the best thing about the circle method. So now we're going to do you usually do the medium next?
Yes, medium.
WG04. And we're going to apply this color where we want the shading. So I might have to turn my page, and I like to do these flicking strokes.
Now the flicking strokes are kind of what we just showed on the glitter paper, right?
Yes, same technique. Now because this is our mid-tone, we don't have to be too shy about this. Okay, so there's our medium color. Now we're going to use our dark, which is the WG06. We're going to go over that medium area, but we're going to tone it back a little bit, so not as much. So we're with the WG06. We're doing little flicking strokes. And I'm doing that on the feet. We don't want too much dark here. And
on the blending cardstock, you can really see the gray in these markers.
yes, you definitely can.
Whereas on the glitter paper, kind of the glitter, because we were using, I think, warm, it really showed more of a gold, warm, brown.
Yes. All right, so now we're going to go back to our medium color, WG04, and we're going to go to where that dark color ended, and we're going over it. So we're using our flicking strokes. This is going to start the blending process. So now you can see that 06 is blended with the 04.
And you need to add a little bit of pressure, wouldn't you say, when
Yeah.
you're on that line?
Yes. Okay, so there's the 04. Now we can go to the 01. We can go to where that 04 ended and pull that color into the center from all directions. And I kind of like to go and circle over it. There.
That is gorgeous.
Now, if you're not happy with it this time, you could add some more color if you need to blend a little bit more, but I think it looks pretty good.
It does look good.
So we get a second chance at doing this with the head of the elephant. So we're going to do the light color first again, WG01, and we're going to do that circle method just to fill in the entire head. Now, if you leave a couple spots uncolored, that's okay.
Yeah, sometimes I want to do that where I want it really, really light. Just leave a couple spots.
Yeah. So next we go to the medium color, which is the 04. I'm going to have to turn my paper. There we go. Now this is a mid-tone, so you can be a little more generous with that mid-tone. And now we'll go to the dark color, WG06. And this time we don't want as much color. So just do a little bit of dark, flicking motions. Rotate your paper if you need to. Now we're going to start the blending process. So we're going to go back to the WG04. We're going to start flicking where that color ended, the dark color. And look at that. And then next we'll go to our WG01 and we'll just finish off that center of the little elephant's head. You can go in circles to help blend. There he is.
That is lovely. I love it.
Super cute. So now we have the ears.
Yes, and we're going to go to the different run of the warm gray, correct?
Right, so that is 2, 4, and 8.
Yes, now a lot of people don't realize how important gray is when you're coloring. I think it's one of the most important colors families to have, whether it's cool gray or warm gray.
I agree, because a lot of things are gray. So from clothing to
Clouds,
scenery.
water. I mean, you can really make a lot of things with shadows.
Yes.
Right?
I think the same thing with browns too. There's so many things that are browns.
Yes. So it's very important that you have a good supply of cool gray and warm gray.
Okay, so we're now on the second color set. So WG02 is going to be our light color, and we're going to do that circle method on the ears. And then we'll do the other ear as well.
You could really see the difference in that color.
I know. Now we'll go to the 04. And we're going to do our flicking motions. Looks like this 02 and 04 are very similar to each other.
They are, but there's just enough of a difference. You see it, don't you?
A little bit. Now we're on the 08. And we're just going to add little flicking strokes. And now we will start blending. So we're going to go backwards now. WG04. And this is where you want that pressure. And then last but not least, WG02. And you can finish off with some circles if you feel like you need to. And there is our elephant.
So cute. Dumbo's looking alive.
All right, there you go.
And then the eye we'll put on later, right?
Yes.
So cute. I love it.
So now, should we do the next one? Dark
Yes.
to light.
Dark to light. So we're going to use our WG01, 4, and 6. So we are going to start with the darkest, which is 6, right?
Right.
Do I have that upside down? How's that? Okay. So it's the same thing again. We're going to go ahead and get our shading. Now I'm going to turn this around. But we're going to start with the light. So we're not going to put dark. No light's going to go down first. So this one, we don't want a lot of color. So we'll just kind of be conservative, right?
So the shading is going in the same places.
Yeah, let's make that dark. Now we're going to go to our number 4, and we're going to, that's our medium color, and we're going to start at the line here, and we're going to just bring that color toward the center. And you're going to find that that line isn't going to blend all that great. So don't worry. There will be an opportunity to make it better, right?
Yes.
And now we're going to go to our lightest color, and I'm going to marry all of that little medium color with my circles here. And there we are. What do you think? It has problems, right? Because when you do dark to light on here, you have to always do it again, okay? So now that the paper's been saturated, you kind of made a roadmap where you want your colors. So you're going to go back in with the darkest color, which was what, Jackie?
WG06.
And when you put this on the second time, you can feel how it's just flowing much better. Okay, so this way is a bit more challenging. As much as we liked it with the glitter, it's a bit more challenging on the other. So WG04, we're going to start blending, and we could see the blend just happening so much better now. Do you see that?
Definitely. Now it does make it a little bit darker.
It does. And then we'll come in with our lightest color and just finish. And kind of go over there. Now what do you think?
All right, that looks better.
Okay, but it is definitely darker than this method right here. Okay, so let's continue, and we're going to go with the darkest color.
06. So the shading is kind of going on the top of the head, next to the ear, and in those wrinkles on the trunk.
Number 4. I'm starting at the line where the dark ended and kind of bringing that down. And then I have my 1. And am I going to like it?
Nope.
Never the first time. You could really see that's not blended well. Okay, so now you go back to your dark. And all of a sudden, because it's wet, I'm telling you, it's like magic.
So on the glitter paper, you don't need that first color to help you blend. But on the blending paper, it works best when your paper is saturated with ink.
Yes. It really does make a difference.
So if you're in a hurry to color something, I'd say color on the glitter paper. All right, there's our little elephant guy. Now we have the ears.
Yes, so we are going to use 8, 4, and 2, and I'm going to start with WG08.
He could be Elmer the elephant.
Elmer? Where'd you come up with Elmer?
It's one of our favorite restaurants.
It is true. Okay, and then WG04. I think it's only over here, though, on the West Coast.
Maybe not because of Elmer's glue. We shouldn't name him that.
Okay, so even with this one, you could really see that it's not really doing a good job blending, but I'm going in with, I do have 2, right? Yeah. I had to make sure for a minute. Okay.
So this is the 02, 04, and 08.
So again, not really nice yet. So let's go back, work our way back, do it again. In fact, it's repeat, right? So I'm with the 8 here. And then I'm going to go in with the 4. And now all of a sudden that is so blending, just so much better. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it makes a difference.
Okay.
Now we're on the 02.
There we go. All right.
So again, this one looks a little darker. This is the dark to light because we had to do 2 coats. This one we just did the one, and that was the light to dark.
And we already know from experience that most of you prefer the light to dark on the blending cardstock and the dark to light on the glitter, right?
But if you have a different opinion, you can let us know in the comments.
Yes, I mean, whichever works for you, that's what's most important. Now, shall we add the eyes just to kind of finish, what are we calling him? Not Elmer now?
I don't know.
I like Horton. Don't you remember Horton? He had a little children's book.
Oh, like Horton Hears a Who or something?
Yes, exactly. Now it's coming back, is it?
Was that Dr. Seuss?
Maybe. Okay, so now that we've colored these elephants here, what you need to do is you want to put these on your sheet here and kind of remember which one is your dark to light or light to dark, dark to light for each of the mediums. Okay, I'm missing one here. And then that kind of gives you a guide. Now I've put this in a binder with page protectors so I can refer to it. And I really suggest that you do that. Now, on your sticker sheet, you have one more elephant here. And this is the guy that you're going to use to make your card. Now, you can choose the glitter, or you could choose the blending cardstock, whichever one that you want to color. And then we gave you all the supplies to make this card. Isn't that cute?
I love this paper. Really, really cute. So it's up to you. Are you feeling safe with the glitter paper, or are you feeling up for a challenge with that blending paper?
Yeah, so there you go. So now, speaking of challenge, shall we look at that raccoon?
Okay, so here's the raccoon. And look at those bright papers.
Now, I'm going to suspect that most of you will have the challenge using the blending cardstock. So we're going to show you how we colored this guy on the blending cardstock, and then you can practice and make your own challenge card. Now it can be on the glitter paper as well, but we're going to just demonstrate to you how we colored this cute raccoon, but we're going to use the blending cardstock.
And I just wanted to point out that you did the raccoon on the blending cardstock here, but you actually used glitter paper for the balloon.
I did, because I thought it should just pop out. What do you think?
I like how you mixed and matched that.
All right. Okay, so we're going to go to our outline sticker sheet here, and I'm going to peel. Now, what's this guy called? Rocky Raccoon?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, and we're going to put him on there. Now, it looks like he's missing some elements too. So after you color, you could put the feet and the little eyes in, right?
So the reason I would recommend putting those on later is because they're solid. So it doesn't matter if you don't leave a space for them, because they're just going to go right over top. And sometimes when you're coloring, the little pieces will lift up. So I'd like to put those on last.
Yes, and I did want to point out to you that the, this has the XOXO here, which is so cute. So, that's where that came from. Okay? All right, so are we ready?
We're ready. What are we starting with?
Okay, I think because we know most people are probably going to like light to dark, we should go with that. What do you think?
Okay.
So I'm going to let you choose which part should we use the kind of warmer gray and which part the less. It looks like the body is the warm gray, and then his little bandit parts are the darker gray. What do you think?
Okay, so we'll do warm gray for the face, the arms, and the legs.
Okay, and do you want to do that part and I'll do the other one?
Okay. So starting with WG01, we're going to do our circle method, starting with the face. So I'm just going to go over the face. We had a suggestion to name him Miko. That reminds me of Pocahontas.
Ooh, I like that.
All right, filled in the face and I did the ears at the same time. So now we'll do the WG04 and we're gonna do that kind of around all the edges.
I think it's really important that we show people how to color lots of different images, but with the same pens.
Yes, because even though it's the same colors, it gives it a different look. Okay, I don't know, I think I'm not going to do the top of the head. So I did the sides and the bottoms and the ears. So now I'm going to do the WG06. Now that we have kind of a roadmap, we're doing just a little bit of feathering in those spaces. And now we can start going backwards and blending. So I'm back to my WG04. Where that 06 ended, you just do some feather-like strokes. And these strokes are going to be bigger with the medium shade. And then back to the 01 to finish it up. And I'm going to do circular motions.
So cute. Now, if you had a stamped image, it would be the same exact process. It's just that you would have a stamped line.
Yep, same exact coloring techniques. Okay, so let's keep going here. I think I'm going to do the arms and the legs at the same time, starting with the 01 again. I'm going to go a little bit faster now. So there's the 01. We got one arm done. 2 arms done. There's a leg. And there's a leg. Now we're going to grab the 04. We're kind of mapping out where we want the shading. So under the head, on the paws, and then top and bottom in this leg area. I'm going to grab my 06 and start adding tiny little feathery strokes on top of those strokes we just did. Okay. And now we go backwards. So we're on the 04 again. And this is blending the 06 and the 04 together. Your lighter color always is the blending color.
Yeah, that's a good point. The colorless blender is an alcohol ink marker without any color in it. Now you're on the WG01. But it is not really a blending tool. It's more of an eraser tool.
Yeah, so if you want to create a pattern, it's good. Or if you go outside the lines, it's good.
But you really don't want to use it to blend with, when in this case. It would not be good because if you blend with it, it would create a big white hole.
All right, so there's our WG01, 4, and 6 combo.
That is so darn cute. Okay, so now I'm going to continue the coloring with the light to dark, and we are going to go with our second series, which was 2, 4, and 8, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here's 2, and it looks like we're going to do the little bandit eyes.
So we're still doing the light to dark method.
Yes, so I have WG02, and I'm going to do both of these parts at the same time. Remember, you only want to do a little bit at the time, right? And now I'm going to go to my number 4 here And I think I want my shading. I'll follow what you did, kind of close here. Maybe just a little bit down here, just to add something. And then we're going to go to our darkest color, which is WG08. And this is where using feathers, I think, is kind of important, don't you, when you have the darker colors?
Yeah, it's really going to help you blend when you have those feather strokes.
Now we're going back to the WG04, which was that medium color, and we're going to blend this. So I'm kind of using a little bit of pressure on the end of that dark. And then we'll go to our lightest color and just kind of blend all of it, right? There we go. Cute, right?
So cute. And don't forget, those eyeballs are going to make him have a personality.
So now we'll do this part where, again, with our WG02. And after a while, you get pretty confident, wouldn't you say? You go a little faster.
You can go faster, and we are leaving the caps of our markers off. While we're coloring, it goes a lot faster.
And I'm going back now to my 4. I did my 8. And if we're going too fast, you can replay us, but it kind of becomes like the way, right? Just the way to do it. So it looks like we have this part of the tail. I'm on WG02. This part of the tail. And this little part here, right?
And then the 2 feet.
And we'll just do it all at once. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
They're pretty small, so why not?
All right. Okay, now we're going to go in with our 4. And I'm just going to add that shading. Again, you could pick where you want your shading. It doesn't matter. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. So it's up to you as the artist to decide where do you want your shading. And there's no shading police.
No shading police. So no one's going to come along and say, oh my gosh, that was wrong. What they will notice is if you do nothing.
Right. I will say though, it is best to pick a side where you want your shadow and kind of just be consistent. That's the best advice. Just be consistent with where you're shading. So just imagine since we're coloring kind of around all the edges, the sun is right in front of this little raccoon. But if you wanted to mix it up, you can shade everything on the left or on the right, on the bottom.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right. Now, what about these white parts?
Well, we can't just leave them white.
No, we can't. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the colorless blender in our lightest color, which is WG02. Now we're going to create a shadow as though this was the dark color, and our colorless blender, we're going to kind of blend it into the paper, right? So the first thing is I want to clean off my marker, just make sure I had no dark color on this WG02. And we're just going to add just a little bit of shadow in here. Because if you leave it white, it doesn't quite look natural. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, you have to have a little bit of shading since the rest of the image has shading. That's where being consistent comes into play.
Yeah. And so I'm just kind of lightly putting, I could always go back and add more. I guess I should do a little of the ear. And then you're going to come in, remember the colorless blender, no color. So we're going to come in and we're just going to blend that into the white by going to where this line ends. Just blend it in. And when it dries, it's just going to be lovely, right? Because it's going to look dark right now because it's wet. I mean, see if I put it here, how that looks dark.
Yeah, because the ink is wet, so it looks dark.
So you just want to kind of blend it into there. I think that looks good. Oh, I didn't get this part. All right. What do you think?
Cute. I think this raccoon is really cute, but I can't say that about real life raccoons.
Yeah, me neither. Shall we put the eyes and the feet, or just put the eyes to show how that really makes a difference, right?
Okay, so I'm going to peel the little eyeballs off of the sticker sheet here. Oh no, mine was upside down, so it stuck to my finger instead of the paper.
That really, really makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, these cute eyeballs. Alright, trying to grab the second one.
I know, sometimes it's hard for us to see. We're kind of far away, right?
Yeah, and you don't want to see the tops of our heads in the video, so... Alright, I'll do the paws too.
Oh, very nice.
I like how they're hearts.
Yeah.
Upside down hearts. And, let's see. I thought maybe those 3 dots are connected.
No, but isn't he so cute? And I think our coloring looks so wonderful.
Yes, and it's up to you what color you want to do for the little card, the greeting card that he's holding.
Yes, maybe match the paper that you decide to use in your challenge.
Okay, I'm going to do 3 more dots. 1, 2, 1 more. And the last dot is right there.
Perfect. And then we don't want to forget that this right here was light to dark, dark to light. So when we cut it out, we'll remember, right?
All right, so we've colored so many grays today. I think you've gotten lots of practice, and I think you should be ready for a challenge.
I think so. And let's not forget this cute little card that you can make.
So we're creating a challenge if you're taking the class, and we're going to explain what that challenge is.
Okay. So the challenge is for you to color the raccoon, whether it's on the glitter paper or the blending cardstock, and you can practice with how we just showed you to do it, and then you're going to cut your cute little raccoon out, and with papers of your choice, so in your stash, you're going to create a card, and it could look like this one, or it could be something totally that you're inspired and created, and you're going to put it together, and then what?
Then you're going to take a picture and upload it or post it to this group on Facebook called Krazy Kreations Virtual Classes, and you'll want to use a hashtag with your picture. So the hashtag is 5 Shades of Gray Challenge. Now, here's a quick tip for you. There's 2 ways to spell the word gray.
Yes, I know, and I spell it the other way.
Yes, so for this challenge, make sure you spell gray with an E-Y, okay, instead of A-Y.
Okay.
So 5 Shades of Gray Challenge posted in Krazy Kreations Virtual Classes, which is where we are right now on Facebook.
Yes, and if you want to, hop over to the groupies and you can put your photo there too, but that's not playing with the challenge.
So in a week, we'll pick some challenge winners randomly from that hashtag. Now they only have to color the raccoon and do the card with the raccoon?
Yes, that's correct. But hey, don't be shy. Show us your elephant card as well. And show all the other groupies what they're missing out on because you know how to color.
And you can also post the same picture in our groupies for the coloring challenge as well, which is through the month of May.
Yes, now I have another extra challenge that has no prize or anything, but what we learned today could also be used with other colors. So let's say you want a pink elephant, or you want a purple elephant, or a turquoise elephant. You just have to get that run of colors and color it exactly the way that we showed you.
So that's like a personal challenge.
A personal challenge, because you know what? How cute are all these with different colors?
Super cute. So thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed coloring with 5 shades of gray with the crazy ladies here at Krazy Kreations.
And don't forget, this class is held monthly on how to color, and you can sign up for a monthly subscription so you don't ever miss out. So we will post our class so you could buy the colors, but you want to have that because this class does sell out.
Yes, and with the subscription, you'll never have to miss a kit. All right, so we'll see you really soon. We're looking forward to seeing your cards and creations with the raccoons and the elephants.
Yep, my name is Kara.
I'm Jackie.
And we will see you soon.